Pine straw might not seem like a really big deal when it comes to an investigation, but this investigation led to an alleged stolen amount of more than $16,000 for pine straw alone. And this happened in Roswell, Georgia. Good evening. I am Anastasia Olmos. Thanks for joining us on Behind the Investigation. I'm joined here by the one and only Better Call Harry Sandler. Hi, Harry.
Hi, Anastasia. You guys don't know this, but we're desk mates. So she listens to me complain all day long.
Yes, and especially about this story. I mean, you spent weeks on end obsessing about this investigation because it was like you were going to bed with it at night and waking up with it, finding more and more information. Talk to us about the original tip that you got from the community there in Roswell.
I did obsess about this, and because nothing was happening and nobody was being held accountable. And we actually got a tip from our sister station in Nashville and their investigative team. Somebody reached out to them and said, hey, this guy who used to be a former player at the University of Tennessee, he's got this pine straw business now in Atlanta and allegedly was taking payments from people, through Zelle and Cash App, Venmo, and then not delivering. So he was taking all this money in, but not delivering the goods. And so at the time, it was just one complaint that we heard about from one person. So it was a community in Roswell, went and spoke to the guy, and it was like layer after layer, things just kept unfolding, and you'll see where the story goes. Take a look.
Come on in. Grant Furking is smoking the cigar.
This is a 2022 post-game interview from our sister station in Knoxville with the University of Tennessee's Grant Furking. It was right after the walk-on wide receiver from the Wesleyan School in Atlanta helped his team beat Bama.
This is a decade and a half of built-up emotion.
He made a name for himself.
I'm so excited for this weekend. I'm so excited for the rest of the season.
After graduation, he went to work for On3, a high school and college football recruiting firm. Back in his teens, he founded a successful pine straw company called Metro Straw. His LinkedIn profile says it was the largest installer in the Southeast, but he sold the company in 2021. The current owner says the two are not affiliated in any way, but he's still selling. Here's a post. Sale ends today on mulch orders. Email Grant.
But he definitely knows the business. When he quit, I've gotten pine straw done multiple times. Everything looked legit. It was on the up and up.
John Frierson says Furking delivered to some neighbors, but he paid $1,900 and got nothing. He bought the pine straw you see here from someone else.
I just put my guard down.
Frierson isn't the only neighbor in the Brookfield Country Club subdivision in North Atlanta who alleges that Furking took payments for pine straw and mulch but never delivered. Complaints started popping up on the neighborhood's Facebook page. Frierson says 15 neighbors paid a total of $16,000.
Well, number one, you're kind of stressed because you're like, wow, and now what happens? Then you're kind of angry. That's kind of evolved more into this feeling of I kind of feel bad for the guy. Like I'm trying to understand, why is he doing this?
Another neighbor talked to Atlanta News First off camera, says she paid Furking $1,200.
And you guys, have you asked for your money back at this point?
Oh, yeah. I think my husband speaks to him every day.
But here's the thing. He is responding to some customers.
And I say, well, you owe me $1,415. And he says, I will.
And he recently refunded Frierson $1,000, a little more than half.
The Christian in me would say, I don't think he should go to jail, but he needs to be stopped.
So at the end of this story, we really didn't know what was about to happen, right, Harry?
No, as far as we knew, if you look at the history, he was a nice kid from everyone we've spoken with, and he had this business before college. He sold the business, and now he's doing it again, and it all kind of coincides with him. We don't know if he lost his job. We just know he was no longer with the sports media company that he was working with, and it all kind of happened about the same time. So, of course, the story airs, and you never know what's going to happen. You start getting emails. And then we started putting out records requests. Let's see if there are any complaints in Gwinnett County, in Cobb County, in the city of Marietta. And so we just kind of threw it out there. And the next thing you know, we had 10 police reports. So this had gone from an alleged theft, and again, alleged, because he at this point has not been officially charged with anything, of around $16,000. And now we're getting into like 50,000. And that's just the people who responded to us. The other part of the story why I started obsessing like nonstop, and I know everybody was tired of hearing of it, but I mean, it really did get us somewhere. It was like, okay, why hasn't anybody done anything about this? Is in terms of like the police departments, either issuing a warrant.
And I want to preface this here of while Harry is going through the different emails from the police departments and making phone calls and getting the reports, he's sitting there reading through them, and he's going, oh my gosh, he did it to this person, or allegedly this is what the report says, and then he finds something else, and we're just like, Harry, like, okay, like we're working on something else here. Yeah, okay. But I mean, this went on for days, and I know that you were trying to work with Nashville to get something on air, and you finally had written all your thoughts down, and you had tried to make a script of it, and you were still told we need to wait. So that process of putting together all of your information, but also fact checking, not just police reports, but doubling back to what people are telling you. Can you match it with that police report?
Right.
And then the story finally got to make air.
Right. So let's go ahead and take a look at part 2, because here we are 2 weeks later, and now all these reports are coming out, and it's like, what's going to happen? And something did. Go ahead, take a look.
I needed about 150 bales. You can see I've got a big backyard here with a lot of trees.
You can add Rob Rainey to the list of Grant Firking customers who alleged they paid the 26-year-old landscaper up to $2,000 for pine straw and mulch deliveries.
He seemed like a nice guy, came from a nice family.
Since our Atlanta News First investigation began, we've identified 10 police reports throughout Milton, Sandy Springs, Johns Creek, Cobb, and Gwinnett County. The reports refer to more than 24 customers who say they use payment apps to send the landscaper money in advance.
How many close games have we been a part of?
Firking popped up on our radar a few weeks ago.
Smoking the cigar.
My third.
That's him in 2022 when he was a star walk-on for the Tennessee Vols.
I'm so excited for the rest of the season.
But his success goes back to his teens. At age 15, the Alpharetta native started a successful pine straw and mulch company called Metro Straw. He sold the business while he was in college, but late last year, he started advertising online and contacting his old Metro Straw customers. Rob Rainey is one of them.
Oh, I'm really mad.
Metro Straw's current owner is not happy. He's received so many angry calls that he put a message on his website saying the two are not associated in any way.
Got your order placed with my vendor this afternoon.
Rainey showed us the text conversation that follows a pattern in police reports. Firking asks for a deposit, followed by a discount if they pay the balance. In January, Rob zelled him $640.
So he didn't get you once, he kind of got you twice.
He did. He got me twice. Yeah, I felt like an idiot.
And there's a pattern in the police reports, the excuses. We have you on for Friday install. We plan to be there either this afternoon or tomorrow. And good morning, my driver is currently out sick.
He sounds very honest and earnest. He's run and built a company that does this before.
Thomas Debates filed a $600 theft report with Cobb County Police.
Initially supposed to get about 70 bales of the pine straw from him.
And then there's Dr. Kevin Schaefer.
Your wife knew him from long ago.
Yes, she actually knew him when he was in high school.
He and his wife filed a police report in Sandy Springs, the first police department that took action. In a 16-page report, a detective contacts Firking several times and gets fed up. You better figure this out and get her paid. I will take a warrant for your arrest if I have to. In response, Firking refunded the couple $700.
It's been a month.
Rob Rainey had given up until we got involved, and Firking sent him this cashier's check for $616. And it didn't stop there. He sent Thomas Debates a refund for $603. And he refunded this man, John Friesen.
I was in a rush. I was trying to get it done.
He's the Roswell homeowner who tipped us off. Friesen says more than a dozen homeowners in his subdivision got refunds totaling $15,000. But it wasn't soon enough for Roswell police. It issued the arrest warrant and said Frerking agreed to turn himself in.
And Harry, when you did this story, you did your live shots outside of the jail because there was the warrant, right? So talk about where that's at now.
So Roswell police confirmed that they issued a warrant for his arrest. That's just for Roswell. No one else that we know of has issued a warrant, but we don't know exactly where this guy lives. His last known location is in Nashville, according to Roswell police. The warrant doesn't go across state lines. So if for some reason he were to get pulled over in Tennessee, they're not going to apprehend him. If he comes to Georgia and gets pulled over, I mean, really, that's what's going to have to happen unless more warrants are issued. And we really don't know what's going to happen. But I think what the interesting thing is that we gave him an opportunity to make this right. And he did start repaying people.
Yeah.
That was an interesting part of the story. He would respond to me every time that I would text him. Usually you text somebody that you're doing an investigative story on and they eventually cut you off. I mean, that finally happened when the warrant went out. But until then, he was responding every day saying, we're going to try and, I'm very sorry for the delay. And, we're going to try and get this resolved within the next 30 days. So that's the next thing that's coming up because I think we're getting close. He said he would refund everybody within 30 days. I got to go look at the calendar.
And that's why we call Harry, is because Harry's the solutions guy, right? We get Better Call Harry and he gets us the solution. And this whole time, when he was communicating with you, we thought that people were going to get their money back and you were going to have solved the issue here, right?
Yeah. So some of them did, but we don't know, again, how many people are involved. I mean, some people over a few $100 may just be like, yeah, I lost my money. But, like we said before, in the story, well, actually, we didn't say it in the story. I said it at the end of the story when we were out live. The big takeaway here for anybody is, I mean, when you use Zelle or Cash App or Venmo or any of these, you're giving cash to somebody and you're giving cash to a stranger. And if they don't want to give it back, they don't have to. And you run the risk of losing that money. I always say, don't Zelle anybody any more than you're willing to lose. And I guess for a lot of people, because it was like $500, they just
walked away.
They just kind of walked away. But, it's just one of these crazy stories. He's raised in Johns Creek in a very nice neighborhood. He went to the Wesleyan school. Then he goes to college. He's a walk-on. He plays. He was like a star. And then from that to this. So you never know where things are going to go. And I hope he's able to make things right and that everyone gets repaid and he's able to restart and move on. And then these people get to move on.
Right. I mean, that's why we do what we do is we want solutions. We want to hold people accountable. And it's not to put people in jail. It's we want them to do the right thing. Ultimately there, with the takeaways, you mentioned, don't pay instantly, through these apps. But there's also a couple other things that people should do if they're going to hire anybody for even lawn care or work in their home, right?
Well, yeah, and it's tough on this one because some of these people knew him from when he had his pine straw business years ago. I mean, before college. I mean, he started this thing back in high school. So you think you're good. But again, I think if people had gone online and just like anybody else, just go ahead and Google the person and see what pops up. I mean, you'll always see tons of reviews. And it's really hard to tell anymore, especially with AI, what's real and what's fake. But
at least do it. See what.
No, you should do it. And if you
it says scam anywhere,
if there's a pattern, if you see a pattern of complaints and they're all very similar, and it's like, hey, me too, then okay, that's a red flag.
Right. And your other piece of advice that I know our boss, Lindsay Basie, she loves to give you credit for is make sure that you don't pay full upfront. Right.
No, I mean, it's pine straw. Pay when he delivers. It's just like painting a house. A lot of people pay up front. Why don't you pay the painter when he's done painting, or pay half when he starts the job the day of, and if he's going to finish that day, pay the rest of it at the end of the day. I mean, if you're giving away a lot of money in advance, you don't know if that money is being used to go someplace else or towards the job that you paid for.
Yep. Do your research
Yep.
and always call Harry because he'll figure out what's going on. You can find ways to contact him, either his tip line, which I also help him with, or your email that's on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. You can watch these past investigations and even Nashville's investigation specific to what happened there in Tennessee. That's also online. They are our sister station, WSMV. And you can also listen to all of these podcasts right now, anywhere where you stream your podcasts. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can get us. This is Atlanta News First Investigates. Thanks for watching.